Mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, and streaming worldwide at myjoyonline.com, X Spaces, and YouTube. We're also live in all 16 regions of Ghana via partner stations, including Home Radio 99.7 FM in Wa, Amenuveve Radio in Aflawo, Castle FM, Cape Coast, Space FM Takwa, A1 Radio Bolgatanga, Sky FM in Sunyani, and Ridge in Tamale. Coming up, 200 raids, 207 arrests, 46 foreigners nabbed. That's the 6th month scorecard from government's anti-galamsey task force, NIMOS.
207 suspects comprising 161 Ghanaians within the last 6 months, and 46 foreign nationals have all been apprehended. The suspects have been processed and handed over to the security agencies.
With details as Lands Minister Emmanuel Armah-Kofi Buah vows financiers and kingpins will face justice as Cabinet also restores Achimota Forest to full reserve status. Also this afternoon, land restoration program turned into galamsey operations. Joy News exposes illegal mining hidden behind land restoration program. And also this afternoon, motorists to brace up for the impact with fuel prices going up this Thursday. Oil marketing companies hike pump prices, squeezed by global crude costs and a weaker cedi. We speak to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COPEC, to break down the new prices. And lawyers for the former Chief Executive Officer of the National Buffer Stock Company files a motion to strike out the fresh charges preferred against him, describing them as fatally defective, with details from the Accra High Court. And later, the Sports Ministry is racing against time to lock down a new deal with Black Stars coach Carlos Queiroz before September's AFCON qualifiers.
Well, the coach has not resigned, that's very clear. We're starting our qualifications in September, and we are coming against Côte d'Ivoire. So you need a certain level of continuity. This is not the time to be introducing a new person.
These and more with me, Maame, Nyamekye, Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Do stay. Let's get into the details now. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has carried out 200 operations in the last 6 months, arresting 207 suspects, including 46 foreign nationals. That's according to Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Armah-Kofi Buah, who says government's crackdown on illegal mining is intensifying. At the Government Accountability Series, the minister declared the era of impunity over. He stressed that government will pursue every individual, financier, and criminal syndicate destroying Ghana's forests and water bodies.
Sustain nationwide operational tempo against illegal mining across 6 endemic regions, namely Ashanti, Western North, Eastern, Bono, Ahafo, and Central. A total of 200 operations were executed across 53 districts, recording an operational strike rate of over 84%. The Secretariat conducted 169 enforcement operations targeting illegal mining sites, forest reserve, river bodies, and concession encroachments. The combined output of these operations is summarized as follows: 207 suspects comprising 161 Ghanaians within the last 6 months, and 46 foreign nationals have all been apprehended. The suspects have been processed and handed over to the security agencies. Between January and June this year, 78 excavators have been seized and 90 excavators has been demobilized. Roughly almost 170 of them. A total 2,800 shamfans were destroyed on river bodies across the endemic region. 1,244 makeshift structures associated with illegal mining camps were also destroyed. 302 water pumps, 31 vehicles, 72 motorbikes, 18 generators, 2 payloaders, 5 gold detector machines, 3 outboard motors, 3 weighing scales, and 2 mini car washing machines were all retrieved from active and abandoned sites. 112 pump action rifles, 2 sidearms, 2 locally manufactured rifles, and 1,637 rounds of assorted ammunitions have all been retrieved just in the last 6 months. You can just imagine.
Well, the minister says government remains committed to sustaining the anti-galamsey fight, insisting that no one involved in financing or facilitating illegal mining will be spared.
Let me be clear. The era of impunity is over. Government will continue to pursue every individual, every financier, every criminal syndicate that profits from the destruction of our environment. The law will be applied without fear nor favor. But this battle cannot be won by government alone. It is Ghana's fight. I call on all traditional leaders, religious leaders, miners, security officers, media houses, communities, citizens to stand on the side of our nation. As Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah once put it, the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart on these very issues I've talked about today. The forces that unite us are intrinsic. Today, those forces must unite us to reject greed, reject complicity, and defend our national heritage. History will judge our generation by how we responded to this defining challenge.
Well, joining us with more on this is Presidential Affairs Correspondent Maxwell Agbagbah. Maxwell, one of the major announcements from the ministers is Cabinet's decision to revoke Executive Instrument 144 as amended by Executive Instrument 234, restoring the Achimota Forest to its original status as a forest reserve. Tell us more.
Yes, Maame. So he stated that Cabinet has revoked Executive Instrument 144, like you mentioned, restoring the Achimota Forest to its original status. Now, that reverses the decision made 4 years ago to remove a portion of the reserve. Now, the decision effectively overturns the legal changes introduced in 2022. Which removed approximately 361.5 acres from the southern section of the forest reserve, now returning the land to its original classification. The minister disclosed that the cabinet approved the revocation of the Executive Instrument 144 on June 24, 2026, thereby restoring the forest reserve to its original legal and protected status.
I'm happy to announce a historic cabinet decision taken on the 24th of June 2026 to revoke Executive Instrument EI 144 as amended by EI 234, effectively ensuring that the Achimota Forest retains its original status as a forest reserve and providing ecological safety zone. This is the only last man standing forest cover in Accra, and President Mahama is determined to protect it at all costs.
Well, Maxwell, beyond the Achimota Forest decision, what other key announcement did he make regarding the fight against illegal mining and the management of the country's natural resources?
Now, he also announced that the minerals and mining policy of 2014 has been revised and approved by Cabinet this year. Now, this policy seeks to indigenize mining by strengthening local content and participation. Now, he also stated that following stakeholder consultations, the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 at 703, which has been operational for 20 years, has also been reviewed and endorsed by Cabinet for onward transmission to Parliament for approval. The new act introduces district mining committees as a starting point for mineral licensing, medium-scale mining as a new category. It also removes reconnaissance and prospecting license and replaces it with exploration, fixed at 5 years maximum. Now, mining lease period is now fixed at 20 years maximum, and they have introduced community development agreements as part of any mining lease. Maame.
Thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagbah, joining us from the Jubilee House. Also joining us this afternoon is anti-galamsey campaigner Engineer Ken Ashigbe. For more on this, we're grateful for your time, Dr. Ashigbe. So, per the minister's scorecard of 9 months operations, are you satisfied?
To to NIMOS operations, I think we definitely need to commend this Minister for Lands and Natural Resources for EI 144 revocation. That has been one of the things that environmentalists, we have really been pushed to say that, we could not take out the last man standing in Accra. When you fly over Accra, it's only the Achimota Forest that has a semblance of forest. And it was important that we restored it to a protected nature. And so I think that we need to celebrate this particular one win, in our fight against the degradation of the environment. And I think the minister will be commended. And I think that the second thing for him, it was when he became acting minister for environment that the LI on mining in forest reserves, we were able to take that out. And so this would also be a feather in his cap. When it comes to the issues of NIMOS, again, I think NIMOS is doing quite well. But the challenge is that it seems as if it's only this minister who is fighting galamsey. The rest of the people who support him to be able to make sure that this fight is effective, it's not as effective as we ought, because NIMOS is in there, all the arrests are being made. But currently, when you travel on the Enyinem bypass, in the view, public view, they are mining there. You see vehicles that are parked there. And it's not for the fact that the minister is not fighting. The challenge is that the president's representatives in the local assemblies, they themselves are not really dealing with it.
So, in this regard, what should be the next step? Because they've continuously arrested these illegal miners, but we're yet to see any tangible results of prosecutions and whatnots.
Well, again, so I think that's the point you make. I remember that the only prosecution that is currently going on is the one about Konta Mine, and it took this minister some effort to support what we had done, our petitions that we had done. But the thing about it is that we have all of these people arrested, but how many kingpins are involved in that? How many of the people who really are the people who we know are fueling this are being arrested? Why is it that the story that multimedia you did about DCs, MCs who were going to the theater of this crime and going to collect, permits from them, chamfans that have been prescribed by the government, people were collecting permits from it. But those people were only told that they were going to be retrained.
Okay.
We don't even know what has happened to the retraining. What has happened to Professor Frimpong Boateng's list of people who were involved in the illegality? What has happened to the Attorney General's call for Iyoko to investigate some particular people?
Right.
His Excellency himself had mentioned to us that he knew that there are some people in his government who were involved in it. What is happening to all of those? So it is important that beyond the effort being made by the Minister for Lands, we need to also ensure that other people who have to play roles also play their roles.
All right.
And I'm also hoping that the medium-tier mining that has been introduced would bring some level of control also into it. But I think we need to have a conversation about some of the other terms of the amendment. I think it's also good that the minister is saying that the lease, at least, is not the 15 years, we're doing 20 years. We need to look into the text of the revision of Act 703 and make sure that the things that make Ghana #1 mining destination is kept. But I think we need to commend the minister for EI 144. That's a good one.
Thank you very much. And that's Dr. Ken Ashigbe. He is convener for Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Now, fuel prices are set to rise from Thursday as oil marketing companies prepare to adjust pump prices upward in the second pricing window of the month. The Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, projects petrol prices will increase between 3.79% and 5.31%, with a litre expected to sell at about 14 cedis, 52 pesos, while diesel could rise to around 16 cedis per litre. Now, LPG is also expected to see a marginal increase COMAC attributes the adjustment to renewed geopolitical tensions, which have pushed up global crude oil prices alongside a slight depreciation of the cedi against the US dollar during the pricing period. And joining me now is Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa. Grateful for your time, Duncan. With fuel prices rising despite the relatively stable cedi in recent months, what measures can be taken to cushion consumers from repeated pump price adjustments?
Maame, let me say good afternoon to you, to your listeners. Indeed, this is just another wake-up call to the country that we continue to be price takers. We continue to be affected directly and sharply by global price movements. Although commendably, I would say the government has taken steps over the past 2 months or so towards revamping local refining. You talk of the Tema Oil refinery, you talk of Central. Some of the efforts made so far towards getting Central Jubilee crude to refine. I think that government should not leave it at that. It should step up those efforts to ensure that the logistical cost that is associated with importing fuel, finished products to Ghana could be sharply eliminated. Again, you're also looking at a situation where government would need to pay closer attention to the strategic stock program that we have been calling for over the years. Indeed, you cannot have the tanks of bust still empty at this point when just 2 weeks ago or a month ago prices were dropping, and we could have taken advantage of that to get some product in tank for trading. Unfortunately, we do not have the funds for that as a country. We've never planned for that, and I will be happy to see this government take on that program so that if prices are even to go up tomorrow and government did stock up a week or two ago, government could safely intervene to say, look, there's enough in stock, and so you do not need to apply the current spot prices to the market. We can be able to cushion the market. That has not been done, and I think that we will continue to draw the minds of authorities, particularly the Ministry of Energy and Finance, to this, so that tomorrow when prices escalate due to the tensions in the Middle East, you and I could be at least a bit safe from those shocks. Those in the Western world, incomes are quite adjustable and they may be able to live with it. But in Ghana, anytime you have these price movements upward, the effect on your economy is not one that I'm sure the government itself can afford. So, two quick things. Something needs to be done. Strategic stock program would need to be looked at again. The local crude supply to your refineries, I think that we should work even harder at this point to ensure that the refineries keep running and that we could be able to eliminate direct importation from particularly the European market so that we can also be able to control prices locally. But as it stands, like you rightly said, tomorrow consumers may be burdened with some upward adjustments in fuel pricing across board.
Thank you so much, Duncan Amwa. He's Executive Secretary of COPEC. Well, Johnny's investigation has reviewed a land restoration program implemented by the Minerals Development Fund that has become a vehicle for coveted illegal mining activities in the Ashanti region. Some contractors partnering with the fund in the project to restore degraded lands are allegedly involved in brisk illegal mining operations. Ohim Interior reports.
Signposts have been erected at the entrances of the mining sites with the inscription Minerals Development Fund Land Restoration Project. These sites are manned by heavily armed security personnel dressed in military camouflage. Several of these mining sites come with a scannable barcode. It has the Forestry Commission, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and the Minerals Development Fund as the implementing agencies.
Let's scan the barcode and see what we are likely to get. Okay, so I have scanned it. Immediately I scanned, I found this information.
But the Forestry Commission has denied their involvement in the restoration projects. Officials say the contractors did not possess a forestry entry permit, the basic requirement that allows their presence in the forest. This is Omania Mankwa, the Mankranso District Forestry Manager. He led the arrest of 6 workers of Sodada Global Limited, one of the contractors of the restoration project in the Tinte Bipo Forest on Friday, July 10 at Nyamekye near Abeswa.
Even though the people are not having the permit, but they've started building up the structure outside the forest reserve. The last time a team went there, we realized they were even having armed or security officers with wearing uniform, equally like the ones the military or the forestry response team, rapid response team are using. So we're even happy that then they are going to help us to protect the area. Until recently that we had information that they are doing otherwise.
The report by Ohim Interior. Now this afternoon, lawyers for the former CEO of the National Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul Wahab, has filed an application at the Criminal Division of the Accra High Court seeking to strike out the fresh charge sheet filed by the prosecution. The earlier charges against him were withdrawn, with the prosecution subsequently filing new charges claiming it had uncovered fresh evidence against the accused. However, in court today, lead counsel Godfred Yeboadami told the court that the defense had filed an application to set aside the new charges, arguing they are fatally defective and in contravention of the accused personal constitutional rights. Let's go to the Accra High Court and speak with Legal Affairs member Fatal Bayaga for more on this. Fatal, how did the prosecution respond to this application? Fatal, go ahead. Reposition yourself and go ahead. We don't have, we seem to not have a stable line to Fatal, but we'll do that later in subsequent bulletins. You're still listening to Joy News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll take a break. When we return, the Sports Ministry is racing against time to lock down a new deal with Black Stars coach Carlos Queiroz after September's AFCON qualifiers.
Well, the coach has not resigned. That's very clear. We're starting our qualifications in September. And we are coming against Côte d'Ivoire. So you need a certain level of continuity. This is not the time to be introducing a new person.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white where it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Upgrade your print game with Konica Minolta, proudly powered by SkySat Technologies. From all-in-one machines that print, scan, and copy to professional systems and heavy-duty production machines, we deliver unmatched performance. Right now, SkySat has an unbeatable offer. 1 entire year of free servicing on all Konica Minolta machines. That's 12 months of expert maintenance for new and existing customers. Visit our new VIP Print Center at Pegasus Place, Airport Residential Area for a live demonstration. Call us on 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. Again, it's 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. SkySat Technologies. Performance that delivers every time.
Welcome to White Restaurant and Garden right here in Accra. We are redefining fusion. Imagine the elegance of classic French-Italian mastery, beautifully balanced with the vibrant warmth of African herbs and spices. Every plate is a masterpiece and every moment is an experience. Pair your evening with our masterfully crafted cocktails and let the world fade away with each sip. Book your table today using the code WHITE@3 and your first round of signature cocktails is entirely our gift to you. Experience dining done beautifully. Call 050-982-3420 to reserve your evening. White Restaurant and Garden. Experience dining done beautifully.
Change is in the air at the Joy News Habitat Fair.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Let's go to Parliament now. A political firestorm has erupted over government's 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program, with the minority accusing government of failing to implement the policy despite a 650 billion cedi budget allocation. During the debate on the floor on Tuesday, ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee, Kojo Nkrumah, took government on for failing to begin implementation of its flagship campaign promise.
Mr. Speaker, the promise of the 24-hour economy was clear. 1-3-3. One job, 3 people, 3 shifts. Mr. Speaker, this government is almost 2 years in office. And in these 2 years, they have appropriated about 650 billion Ghana cedis. That's what this House has appropriated for government to work with. Almost 2 years on, you cannot find one government agency that is applying 1-3-3.
Well, James Aveji is in Parliament and joins us with more. James, what else happened to the report in question? James, if you can hear me, I'm asking what else happened to the report in question.
Well, Maame, the report has been adopted by Parliament. What it means is that government can go ahead now to begin the implementation of that policy, that 24-hour plus policy, as we speak.
All right, James. What else are we to expect in Parliament today?
Well, Maame, aside from the normal parliamentary businesses, in addition, we expect that some questions will be taken. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, we understand, will be in the House to answer some questions that are raised by the ranking member on the Economic Development Committee, Kojo Nkrumah, on the floor of the House. And so we are looking forward to that keenly, together with amendment to the clauses of a number of bills that are currently pending before the House.
Thank you, James Aveji, in Parliament for us. Now, with crucial Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers a couple of months away, the Sports Ministry and the Ghana Football Association are under intense pressure to finalize terms with Carlos Queiroz and secure technical leadership for the team. Carlos hinted at quitting after Ghana's FIFA World Cup exit, but Sports Minister Kofi Adams says negotiations for a new deal are still ongoing. He spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express last night.
Well, the coach has not resigned. That's very clear.
Really?
Coach has not.
He put up a post on his Facebook.
No, his post didn't say he was resigning. He was just thanking all of us for the kind of support that we gave and thinking that this is the beginning of greater things to happen. Don't forget that the coach had a contract. We had a 4-month contract with him, and the contract was ending 19th of this month, and he did not resign.
Post the World Cup, has he sent his report?
Well, from what I know, he has submitted the initial report to the FA. That is what is normally the case, but he will have a comprehensive report that he will submit later.
When you spoke, was he optimistic about his own future? Did he tell you he wants to stay?
I think I saw somebody and I heard somebody who would love to be with this country and to work for us and to build our national team.
Yeah, the sports minister there in an interview with my colleague Evans Mensah. Now, the NPP Director of Communications, hopeful Dennis Miracles Abuaje, has broken his silence following his release from the custody of Yoko, denying reports that investigators questioned him over an alleged 55 million cedi matter. Yoko arrested him in connection with investigations into the alleged misappropriation at the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization as Secretary during his tenure as Executive Secretary. Miracles was released last night after meeting what his lawyers described as an onerous bail condition of 50 million cedis with 3 sureties, 2 to be justified. And to our light story segment, content creation has become a major source of livelihood for young people worldwide, and Ghanaian creators are not being out of the digital revolution. A prime example is popular TikTok sensation Kali Kali, who has built a brand around witty, melodic lyrics to deliver birthday shoutouts to his audience.
Guess what today? Today is your birthday. We go to be late. Happy birthday, Ashley. May God bless you. Happy birthday, Ashley. May God bless you. We celebrate, jubilate, come champagne, but today celebrate, jubilate, come champagne, but happy birthday, Ashley. May God bless you.
And that's an interesting way to announce your birthday. And Adobia, do you know he's charging, at least that's what we're hearing, that he's charging 900 cedis per request.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. A nice way to make money.
Exactly.
You know? What's trending?
Yes, Emmanuel Armah-Kofi Buah is in the trends. We do know that's because of the government accountability series. Well, he's announcing that the cabinet's decision taken on the 24th of June, which is supposed to be to revoke the executive instrument EI 144 as amended by EI 234, which is, of course, ensuring that the Achimota Forest retains its original status as a forest reserve. And you have people reacting to it. Some people say it's a step in the right direction to preserve our environment, and people are basically commending this particular announcement.
Thank you, Adobe, and that's how we draw the curtain on the Midday News here on your 99.7 FM. Up next is Living Word with Pastor